Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, muy caliente. Yeah, great beer. It's just a chili orgy in my mouth.
So speaking of bizarre, have we gotten a proof of life on John Fetterman yet?
We're gonna start dealing in in used sex toys.
Not our used sex toys, right?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not excluding it.
Yep, yep. I hold the camera while he's jerking off with Rosie.
You're about to listen to Whiskey Hell Podcast, a show centered on recent news, excellent craft beer, and absolute debauchery. While the guys are getting ready, you can reach them on Twitter at whiskey_hell. You can also go to the whiskeyhellpod.com or email them at whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. At the end, be sure to drop them a review as a thank you for the content. Looks like they're ready. Enjoy the show, and listener discretion is advised.
Ten, nine, eight, seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
This is the news with Whiskey Hell. It is Saturday, March 4th, 7:33. It's McShane and Fitz. We're gonna ride this fucking wave into the beach, Fitz.
I like it. I like it. That's a good metaphor. I am gonna change the word wave into tsunami though.
I like that. Tsunami fits. It's more ominous. It
Yeah.
is seen from
Just
way farther away.
destructive.
Destructive. Yet not yet it's so well put together though. And it's not chaotic. I mean, you see it coming.
Yeah.
They push the button. They push the play button. They everybody knew what they're getting into. Right? I mean,
Yeah. To that point, dude, I am if I have one complaint from the news this week, and there's been a lot. We have a lot to get into tonight, and we're both raring to go, ready to go. I know Hefe's going to bring the thunder when he shows up in a bit here, but I have seen so many TikToks, Instagram is blowing up with it, and on Twitter is blowing up with it, of these people who are trapped under 9 or 10 feet of snow up in Lake Tahoe or these other mountain communities up in California. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you why I'm sick of it, because number one, I don't live up on top of any mountain, and I'm not going to get 9 feet of snow here, but I still have 30 days of food on hand, always, at all times. I have fresh water available. I'm good to go, and I'm not saying that I would enjoy being stuck in my house for a week or 2 weeks, but we could do it, and we would have no problems with it. You knew this storm was coming, guys. I talked about it last week on the show, and I'm nobody. I'm not a weatherman. All of the weather forecasters said this thing was going to be a big deal, and nobody reacted to it. And now we have to sit and listen to your stupid fucking videos about how come no one's coming to help us. If you can't get down off the mountain, how do you think they're going to get up the mountain to come rescue you? You think a fleet of helicopters is coming to save you? No one's going to save you. They don't care. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm finished for the evening. No more rants. But I'm sick of seeing those videos. I just like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. You should have been prepared for this.
so we're gonna get into TikTok later because I want to touch on it because I've been trying to touch on it. And maybe touch on it is a really bad term to use these days, but I'm gonna use it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I have completely, that has not been in any of the algos that I have online.
Oh, really? Okay.
No,
All right.
I have completely missed them. Completely missed them. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you're letting me know that I'm missing out on something that would annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not in the algo, dude. And I won't, I mean, it's not every video or anything like that, but it's like,
There's a lot.
yeah, pretty much every time I'm going on and checking social media, I'm getting 1 or 2 videos. And I mean, yes, it's a lot of snow, and it's an intimidating amount of snow. But she should have been ready is all I can say. And it's not everybody else's job now to make up for the fact that you weren't ready.
But isn't that kind of California?
I suppose it
is. Isn't that California's MO? They're not, we'll say they're not the hardiest of people, the most aware of people. Now, that's a blanket statement. I probably shouldn't be making it, because I'm sure there are many people in California who are laughing at the people, the rest of them who are actually stuck in all these positions. And hopefully this is a minority of the overall population of California. And when I say that, I mean a small number of people. It has nothing to do with a race or anything along those lines. I got to get that out there right now, because somebody's going to fucking bitch about that too.
Yeah.
They'll be from California. Anyway, it kind of goes hand in hand with it. I mean, that's kind of California's MO. They need the nanny state to take care of them. They need to be saved. And that's what they do now.
Yeah. And we don't, well, Jesus, let's get to our beers, because I feel like we're diving in already on some social problems. But no, I wanted to get that out, but we also have some, I don't see it on the doc here, but another California story about reparations.
Reparations.
We may get to that also, because I am dumbfounded and flabbergasted that we got here. I know how we got here. I just can't believe we're here. So anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick things off. I was going to totally start the show in a completely different way, but I'm glad we went there. I like it. We got a lot of energy.
Yep.
Fucking, we're fired up.
We are fired up.
So I have a beer here that I'm going to have to try and figure out who the hell makes it. There's a story behind this, but go ahead and what you got over there?
Okay. Well, first of all, my first cheers is going to you, my friend. I had a birthday this week. And so for my birthday, you Venmo'd my wife some money for me to go out and be able to buy some beers. And I will be very honest with you. I bought beers that I wouldn't normally buy for myself. You know what I mean? Like I bought a $20 beer, and it's not even a big bomber, and I don't care. It was
good.
So it's my first beer tonight is what I'm saying. So my first cheers goes to you, because you bought all my beers for tonight. This beer is from Jackie O's. I've been seeing their stuff more and more lately, and I don't know if they were kind of a looks like they're from Athens, Ohio. Which, boy, we're gonna get into Ohio later. That's a dumpster fire. But anyway, I have never seen their stuff before, and then all of a sudden it's been showing up quite a bit here in Oregon, and their beers are extremely small batch, handcrafted kind of stuff that they charge a lot for. So this one is the Chemist Thesis. Chemist Thesis is the name of the beer. This is a blend of imperial stouts aged for 19 months in bourbon barrels and then reconditioned on ancho, cascabel, molada, and Pasilla de Oaxaca chilies. So they put all these different kinds of chilies in there after they had already, barreled this thing for 19 months. Wow. So I think this one's going to be a burner. I think it's going to, I may pay for it later, and I don't care. I love a good chili imperial. And so anyway, it is in the glass. I am taking my first sip.
I love their site already. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but I'm loving where we're going with this.
Ay, ay, ay. Ooh, muy caliente. I
want more Spanish from Fitz every week.
Wow. Okay. All right. First impressions here. Smooth, chocolatey imperial stout. Like the stout itself is a really good base beer. And the chilies are hot, but it's not overwhelming, and it's actually pretty smooth. This is a nice beer. Yeah, well done. Wow, that chocolate is in there. So good. Yeah, great beer. It's just a chili orgy in my mouth. You know what? Chilies and like the cacao nibs, they're all having sex in my mouth right now, and it's beautiful. It's great. I love it. Everybody just come all over each other because it's bonus for me.
I need to actually look at what a cocoa nib actually looks like now because
I've so when we were down in Costa Rica, there was cacao trees everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's what they look like after they're roasted. When they come right off the tree, it's in this like orange fruit, and then you cut it open, and there's all these little berries in there.
Totally gnarly looking, right?
Yeah, it is.
Why would I put that in my mouth, kind of a thing?
Yeah, like who? That's what I want to know. Who decided? You know what? It doesn't taste all that good, but if we cook it, and then we grind it up, and then we add a little bit of sugar to it, it's going to be phenomenal. Who was that?
Somebody had to have. And
look at that over there on the right. They look like these little weird alien. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. See, there's no, I don't know. I don't know. I would not put that. It's even covered by like almost what looks like a spider webbing.
Yeah, spider silk. Yeah, weird. So someone decided to put that in their mouth, and then they were like, "But it would be even better if we roasted it."
I should totally eat this.
Anyway, fantastic beer. Really, really well done. Worth every penny.
All right. Well,
so
very good.
What do you have an unnamed unknown beer?
So, all right. So I went to a beer barn, a little, and I'll send you the picture. This is why it's why I picked it up.
Okay.
But it's a beer barn and just a little tap room, cool place, good beer selection. And I was on my way home tonight because I hadn't picked anything up yet. But I went ahead and I stopped in. So I grabbed like probably 6 beers. And this one kind of stood out to me just because of this picture. And when you look at the can, there's not a lot. It doesn't bounce out to you that this is what it is or who it's by or anything. So I was able to dig it up on the fine print of the can. But this is Who Loves Orange Soda, and it's by a company called brewery called Tripping Animals. I've had them before, not on the show, but I've wanted to get into more of their stuff. But I actually picked it up because it was a big, bright red or orange can, and it had that really cool looking frog on it. And I was like, all right, you know what? This is calling to me, so I'm gonna go and give it a run. Pouring it is, you remember the McDonald's orange drink?
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was gonna say. I mean, that's a Fresca can.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
So. Great citrus notes, a lot of orange. Wow. It's definitely a sour, but it leans towards a straight up orange juice.
Okay.
It doesn't have the It doesn't have the sweetness of the orange drink or an orange soda, so it's not like a Fanta or a Sunkist, like back in the day.
Right.
Or a Crush, I guess. It's good. Quenching. It's definitely a sour ale. They're not lying. It's a very simple sour too. So I'm absolutely digging this. Like I love
that.
to have this in the morning.
Yeah, like let's keep it simple, guys. Some of these sours and stuff that we've had on the show and that I see around, and listen, they're going to have their season. I mean, when it's summer, I'm definitely going to dive in and have some of those, but they're ridiculous. You got these, pineapple, watermelon, papaya slushy with vanilla beans and chocolate. Like what? I mean, give me a couple of flavors to sort through here. Sometimes it's overdone. I'll
Well,
just say
and
that it's overdone.
and you got railed last week by one that was overdone.
Oh, way overdone. Way overdone.
So sometimes, and I'm not. That's not to knock it. I mean, complexity is okay at times, but there are other times where, like, let's just keep it simple. Let's not. Let's not make it. Let's not think too hard. Sometimes you just want a good, solid beer. So this is the. This is the can. You can go to trippinganimals.com and take a look. Smooth
Love the
side.
frogs. Love the frogs.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. That's rainforest frogs, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know what the name
yep.
must be,
Those
but
those
that's
look,
what it
both
looks
look like poison dart frog, kind of. The brighter colors. Tell everybody, hey, if you chomp down on me, you're gonna have a really bad day.
Yep. So good stuff. So good start off with Chemist's Thesis by Jackie O's. You guys can go to jackieos.com to check out their site. And you can also go to Tripping Animals to check out the beers that I'm having here. Fitz, before we go off to our first break, I just want to say happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
You have, well, we wouldn't be here without you. And I appreciate you more and more every day. And I couldn't ask for a better accomplice.
Oh, you're gonna get me all choked up on air here, man. That's very sweet. Thank you. And I mean, the feeling is mutual. We one thing that I've heard from a couple of our listeners actually is that they can really feel the true and genuine camaraderie that we all have. And we've talked about it on the show before, but I mean, this friendship for you and I goes back to when we were 17 and 18, and then for Hefe it goes back even further than that. So it is genuine. It's I mean, we truly all love one another as brothers. And this show has a different, it just hits different. Other shows might have more talent. Other shows might have more bells and whistles, but you're never going to be able to duplicate what we have on this show because of the love. So anyway, thanks. And I it's just awesome to be celebrating another birthday with you. Time just keeps ticking on and we just keep getting better.
That's right. We're like a fine wine.
You bet.
If we liked wine.
Yeah, right. We're a barrel-aged fucking imperial stout is what we are.
That's right. It just keeps getting hotter.
Yep, you bet. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and throw it out to our sponsors real quick, and we will be right back. All right, Fitz. So, getting into housekeeping. I got, again, bamboozled by Twitter.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. What's the deal? Well, we know what the deal is. Actually, we know what the deal is, right? It's these algos that are picking out keywords, and then they're banning you for it.
So one of our Twitter followers, I need to check her name. I think it's Becca. I will pull it up here because I want to be precise. Yeah, Becca. Becca's Now Loves on Twitter. You guys can look up Becca. She mentioned that it might be because of the way I put the, because when I wrote up the tweet, I put together two links, I didn't put a space in between the period and then the next I, which, okay, I get it, but that's still kind of stupid. So it makes it look like there is actually a couple of links in there. So Twitter freaks out. The algorithm sees it and goes, oh my God, they must be posting porn. I think it was because I included this words dildo and adult toy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know either.
In either case, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I see actual, there's actual porn on my feed.
Yeah.
So there's people having sex in the full glory of God, and they're beautiful people. I watch them, but right. Then you can't say dildo and adult toy. I would please, Twitter, help us understand what is triggering about the word dildo, but not about watching a 250-pound physically fit man rail a beautiful young lady. I don't understand.
All right, and I could go on about that because it's just fucking stupid. So anyway, this whole poll this week got hilarious. It was seriously funny. The whole point of it was that I saw another listener, Vecca Salt. She's actually a not OnlyFans. Is she on OnlyFans? I don't think she's on OnlyFans. No. VeccaSalt.com. She's actually an indie streamer, so she games and actually gets nude while she's doing it, and then a whole lot of other stuff. Yes.
That's an interesting shtick.
Yes.
Good for you. Good for you,
Yes.
Vecca Salt.
I think she's on Joystick. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But anyway, I saw her getting rid of a toy one of those not mid-range, but God, what is it? So the area, it's one of the half dudes, right? So there's no head, there's no legs. It's just a big dong, and the guy's, the middle area.
The six pack.
Yeah. So it's a riding toy. It's a riding toy.
Right.
So anyway, I saw that she was getting rid of it, and that just struck me as, I wonder what other people do when they're getting rid of toys. So
now, what, by getting rid of it, like she was just gonna throw it in the dumpster, or put it in a blender? I mean, what do you?
So we'll get to that. But here is the actual the actual poll was, what do you do with an adult toy when you have worn it out? It's broken. How do you thank it for its service? So the options were: toss it in the trash, clean it, use it as a joke, put it in a trophy case, or others. And the others we're going to comment down below in the article, or in the poll. So 41.5% just toss it in the trash, which I could totally see. I mean, who would really want to, to do anything?
Well, yeah,
with a toy
you can't take it. You can't take it down to the local Goodwill.
Right.
Right. I mean, somebody's not going to buy that at Goodwill. Well, I mean, someone might actually. I don't know. I would think. Well, go ahead, finish, because I have a thought on this. Because I did answer the poll, but go ahead, because I have some thoughts on this.
All right. Well, so for instance, Vecca actually wrote in later on and said that she took that particular toy and actually put it on her asshole neighbor's garbage cans and left it there for him because they're a crotchety old fuck. So,
beautiful.
I thought that was outstanding, and that
great.
ranks up there with use it as a joke. I mean, make it useful. I thought that was awesome. Toss it in the trash was 41.5%. Clean it, use it as a joke is 44.9%. Put it in a trophy case was 24.4%. And then other comments was 29.3%. So everybody leaned towards tossing in the trash, which I totally get. But the comments, like I said, were out of this world. Big Nick,
I really liked your Boys to Men shout out there. That was beautiful.
That's the first thing that I thought of as soon as he said that. It would be as if I lost a great love, and I thought Boys to Men's "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday" was perfect for that. Vecca Salt did. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was gonna say just a quick little fun fact. I had the single for that. I had the tape.
Did you?
Single for that? Yeah, and I played it so many times in my car stereo that I broke that, and I had to go out. I bought 2 identical ones of that single because I wore one out. That's how often I listened to that song. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I had the snap down and everything, and that was back when I was still pretending I could sing. Right. So I would turn it up and really just sing to it with them in the car. Anyway, that's fun stuff.
I did the same thing. I think I might have had the DVD or DVD CD for it. I think I might have had the CD for
shit.
it. I'm not sure. But yeah, I tried to sing to it too, and no, bad idea. Bleach Bros podcast. I would try to return it and say, I know the warranty covers all of this, and wave it in the retailer's face like the cheap Karen I am.
I love that. That's so I could picture that too. That was a great response.
Welsh meme lord, I donate all my used fleshlights to Goodwill.
Okay, I guess you can do that.
Becca, I'm gonna kiss it one last time. Thank China for making it. Save it for the memories and buy another one ASAP. Self-love is important. These comments are funny as fuck.
Yeah, so this was a really good thread to go through.
Yeah.
I kept checking it like every 20 or 30 minutes just to see who else had added some ridiculousness.
Yep. This one was unique. Put a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl champion sticker on it and send it to Africa.
Okay. I mean, yeah, go Eagles.
69 whiskey, depending on the kind of toy. Normally, I'm sure we'd just trash it and share all of the fun memories at a later date. Or if you're Eric, lose a machete you used to spank someone's ass with and act like there was nothing wrong with the sentence.
All right. There's a story there I think I need to hear, because if you're slapping someone with a machete, that's a good night.
That is next level.
Yeah.
That
I can honestly say I've never slapped anybody's ass with a machete.
No, neither have I. I've never actually slapped anybody's ass with any weapons.
I mean, can you, so like a leather thong, is that a weapon? I mean, I guess it could be.
I guess then again, I mean, there's an argument to be made that anything can be made a weapon if
Exactly.
you try hard enough.
Because I did draw blood at some point.
That is very true.
I mean,
Anita, gonna have to burn it with a small ceremony to thank it for my cervix. Very nice play on words, Anita.
I can totally picture Anita out there just kind of, doing a little Celtic ceremony out there with the fucking owls and the deer, and everyone comes out and she's sending it back to whence it came.
Yeah, so to speak.
So to speak.
Taproom Tabs, I was going to be truthful, but it sounds very insane now that I actually said it out loud. Actually, I think others wanted to hear more from her. Promise to bail me. Where is her actual answer here? Damn it. Well, I know she answered somewhere. I'm going to have to try and find it. But anyway.
Great poll. Great poll. Very fun. I'm sorry. Our whiskey hell fans, man, this 12.8% must be getting me already. Our fans, our listeners, I'll just say listeners, because I'm sure some of them listen, but aren't really fans. They just listen because they know we're going to say something ridiculous, but, they're the best. They are just the best. We have great engagement on Twitter. Great feedback for our shows. When we suck, you let us know. When we hit something out of the park, you let us know. We just have the best listeners. So thank you all for your participation. So here's my idea. Here's my thought.
What's that?
My wife has a very good friend, and she's sort of struggling financially. She's had some health issues. She can't really work, and yet, bills keep coming and rent is due, etc. And so she kind of looked into this seedy little dark underworld that these women sell men their used socks and underwear. And surprisingly enough, socks actually fetch a better price than used underwear does. So she was sort of exploring in this whole, realm of maybe I'll do that, and just, because she's a good looking lady. She's got really nice feet. So the guys always want like a picture of the feet with the socks, like it comes as a care package. Okay. So my thought is there's got to be a market out there for men who would buy, women's used sex toys. Like you bought the thing for $40, you use it for 6 years, and you're ready for a new one. Sell that thing. I guarantee there's guys out there that would pay to know that was used by, and you send a picture of your, of your private area or whatever, and double the price. You could make a lot of money with that, I believe.
That's fucking genius. So you just have to recoup more than what you purchased, and
right.
That's outstanding.
I think this could be a real moneymaker. It makes me wish once again, for not the first time in my life, it makes me wish that I had a vagina. I'm just saying, there have been times, that you're horny, and there's just no one around that can, fulfill the needs that you have. But if you were a girl, I mean, you could go out to any bar and find a way home, so to speak. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, you could go the other road with you. I mean, I know you talked about an OnlyFans, but I mean, you could do like, I mean, if you were into it, there's butt plugs. I mean, there's things that you could do.
I guess you're right. I mean, I guess there might be in the gay community, maybe.
Sure. I don't see why not.
We need to explore this further. I am I am completely distracted by this fucking guy. I don't know how you found this video that you're playing right now. That was I thought for sure when I first saw this, I thought for sure he broke both of his arms.
Well, I want to see the rest of the video because he was obviously doing more stuff. Because the way it starts, so for everybody, you guys can check our Twitter feed. It's out there. This super freaking flexible, athletic high school kid he starts off at least this one cut for the video where he's got his legs straight up in the air.
Yeah, like a ballerina.
Like a ballerina.
Like he's standing on one leg and the other leg is literally, his foot is over his head and he's just holding it there, perfect balance. And he's dancing to some hip hop and there's a crowd around him. I mean, people are like egging him on, like, keep going, keep going. And then he does this double hop. You guys, you just have to go out and see it. I cannot describe what that move was, but I literally do not know how both of his arms were not dislocated.
His legs. I mean, it was like
legs
he doesn't have hips. Or his hips are, he's got to be double jointed because
he's made out of rubber bands. That's what it is.
He is the rubber band man. It was amazing. Anyway, we'll throw it in show notes. To hell with it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a Hefe sighting.
We do have a Hefe sighting.
What's up?
Dude, you know what's up? And I've meant to say this before, but I'm going to say it tonight because you deserve to hear it, my friend. The button up with the blue tie looks real good on you, man. Looks real good on you.
It's not a tie. It's just a strip.
Well, by God, I am gonna have another drink. I thought you were wearing a blue tie.
Nope, it's just the blue strip where the buttons go.
Well, either way, it looks real good, man. It looks real good. Yeah.
It's reddish. Yeah. Well, thank you.
So it is Fitz's birthday show. We are celebrating it the same way we do every week. We're drinking copious amounts of really great beer. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's Fitz's birthday?
It is. Believe it or not. I know it. That's crazy.
Huh.
No, actually, I got a very nice phone call from Hefe. And it just hit me. As we do every year, I feel like we talk about like the amount of time we've known each other, but we've known each other basically longer than most millennials have been alive. And that to me was very, very sad. I think my actual words to you were, 1 star, do not recommend, because this getting old thing sucks.
Yeah, no shit. It's highly overrated.
Agreed. I mean, okay. Let me say this. I'm glad we're all still here. I'm glad we're all still here together, that we didn't, drift apart as friends sometimes do. If anything, we've all only grown tighter and closer. But the shit that you go through on a daily basis, and I'm not going to go into it because everybody's journey is different, but goddamn, I don't like this process of aging and watching those around me age, like our parents, people that I work with getting into their late 60s, 70s. Like, god damn, that's what I have to look forward to.
Right. Yeah. It's not fun to think about.
No, it is not. It is not. But anyway, at least we all have each other to go through it with, huh?
It's true. Better than going through it alone.
Amen. McShane, what are we looking at there? What was that?
So we have breaking news. Very big deal. Actually, it's not a really big deal. But Patrick Mahomes' brother, Jackson Mahomes, is accused of assault, forcibly kissing owner at bar.
Why are we surprised?
I don't know. It popped up on my feed, and somebody said, hey, this is a huge thing, and I don't really know why we care. I mean,
he probably used the "Do you know who I am?" thing,
which
well,
he's a gigantic
brother.
nobody.
Yeah, but
well, brother though.
He's a big boy, and he grabs her. It looks like by the throat there. That's not okay.
No,
I mean, I listen. I wouldn't want to be manhandled like that either.
No,
and I mean, and the only reason we're hearing about this, because I'll guarantee you this kind of thing happens, 500 times every single day around this country, or probably maybe 500 times just in LA. You know what I mean? But the only reason we're hearing about it is because it's the Super Bowl winning quarterback's brother. That's the only reason we care.
That's a weird setup there. That has to be her office.
Yeah, exactly. Why is he even up there? Because that's not a bar. That doesn't look like a bar to me.
No, that's her office. That's got to be her office.
Yeah.
That's weird. All right, so Patrick Mahomes, your brother's kind of rapey.
Yeah, that's not cool, bro. Put him in check. Get him a good lawyer.
So, looking at some of the items on our docket tonight, we've got quite a bit to go through, but Hefe, was there anything that you particularly wanted to get into real close, up close and personal?
There was one thing I thought of, but I can't remember what it was.
So I will go ahead and talk about, have you guys ever thought to make your phone a vibrator?
Nope.
I have not thought about it for me. Because the practicality of it, like, where do you, like, on what part of my member would I put that it would actually have an effect? But I have definitely thought of, and have attempted unsuccessfully to text a girl enough times that she was applying it to her special area and tried to make her be able to get off. But what happens is, and this is my experience, what happens is you can't send them fast enough, and then your thumbs get sore, and she's mounting, but she's not there yet. And so it's a huge disappointment for everybody, which is basically the story of my entire sex life. So, I guess par for the course. Cool.
So I'm downloading the app now. And I'm actually going to see if I can get it to work here. I'm going to do it right on air.
Now, what's the name of this? What's the name of this app, McShane?
It's called iVibrate.
iVibrate. Now,
so
apparently, according to science, we all have a vibration that we vibrate at. So I would imagine that this app would have different effects on different people.
I would think so. So it gives you some questions right off the bat. Which vibration strength do you prefer? Soft, medium, or max? I picked max. Because why wouldn't I? Which relaxing massage pattern do you like? Meditative, continuous, or strong pulse? I picked strong pulse. Now, what music do you guys think I should listen to while I'm using this? Which calming music do you want to listen to? Nature sounds, meditation music, or sleep music?
It has to be calming.
Yanni.
Yeah, I was gonna say Metallica, but but apparently this is a calming app. So go nature. Let's go nature.
Okay, all right. Let's see here. So, I'm going to do a 3-day trial. Here we go. Costs $12.49 a month.
Jesus, that thing better work.
It better I better just like shoot a load right here.
Hey, while you're doing all that, is it weird to either of you that the band Metallica, like the word metal is in their name, which we all know like metal, heavy metal, but we don't say metal-ica, we say Metallica.
Right.
Oh, you say Metallica.
Yeah, exactly. You put the different emphasis on the different syllable, and it's a totally different word.
All right. So can you guys hear the birds and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear them. What's
All right.
what's going on your end?
They sound horny.
They do.
Yeah,
They're
those are
randy.
mating calls. Yeah.
So I'm actually straddling this thing now, and it's just pulsing. It's definitely pulsing. I can feel it. It's not really doing anything specifically, other than my testicles are like vibrating, but it's not.
You didn't have that going before, so
Yeah, I mean it's totally different. Maybe let's try something else.
It's definitely bringing something to the experience, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't particularly like the So you guys are both familiar with the toy that I reviewed, the male sex toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing I don't like about it is if you go too far down on the shaft and it hits the testicles, it's I don't like my testicles vibrated. I've learned that. I didn't know that before, but now I know. It's actually pretty painful. It doesn't feel good. Did you have that experience, Hefe, with Rosie?
no, she stayed away from my testicles.
Okay, yeah. See, you can get this one because it's it's open ended on both ends, so you can stick it as far in as you want, and I have enough girth to do that, and so I thought, well, let's give the bass some love, let's try and that's not fun. That is not a friendly experience.
All right, so we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna try church bells at noon.
Perfect for Whiskey Hill.
I was about to say that.
Yeah,
Steve.
this is not worth it. I don't know why this would be soothing.
All we can hear is just a clanging in the background.
Like,
Well, those are my testicles banging back and forth.
Wow.
It's
By the way,
there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of different sounds though. That's kind of cool. Oh, it's exciting.
I have never heard of McShane described as he's built like a fucking church bell, but I'm using that from now on.
We should do that.
hey, I thought of what I thought of it.
Yeah, go for it. Shoot.
Are we going to look back on this time as the time of train derailments and buildings catching on fire? And also, have they come up with any reasons why these trains are doing this?
Well, the big excuse that's out there is that there's 1,000 train derailments every year, and so this is a normal thing. But like we said on the show last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember now, but yeah, a derailment could be just one car sort of falls off and the whole train has to stop. These aren't catastrophic chemical spills and petroleum spills and all of that. And so I don't buy that. I mean, again, I think it's a complete lack and disregard, and not by the workers, but there's no safety. They have The mandate is to keep those fucking trains going on schedule that's been determined by a computer that's possible. And so these actual human beings then have to make that happen. And as we know, train tracks shift, the earth moves beneath them. They're fluid. They're never just static. And so you have to, these things are going to happen. And the difference is they're running these trains faster than they need to go, overloaded with more cargo than they should carry. And then one little thing happens and it's a catastrophe. And no one seems to give a shit.
Because we actually had another train derailment today, a few hours ago.
Yeah.
And then we also had a Cincinnati warehouse that went up in flames too. So, it's very easy to get to the standpoint of that this is terrorism, right? It really is. But it could be as simple as just very poor maintenance. It's all happening at once, which is weird.
Oh God, look at
and
that.
Ohio's the HUD.
Look at that happen, like in real time. I saw somebody they made a video, and they said that they got this information from a video they saw that someone had made. But it's basically with a car jack. You have a crowbar and a car jack, and you can completely fuck up a train track completely. And you only have to do it in one little spot. You can do it in 30 seconds, run away, get to your car, and leave way before the train ever gets there, and it fucks up the train.
Damn.
So it's not like this is rocket science. All you have to do is move that track 4 inches to the left and on one side, and the whole thing's going to come off.
I got to go, guys.
All right, brother. We'll see you soon.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to our sponsors real quick, and we'll come back and we'll get into some more of the stuff that's been happening in Ohio, and we'll get into the rest of the news. Cool?
Cool.
So, yeah, I'm glad Hefe brought that up, the whole train derailment. I don't want us to be screaming conspiracy theories and shit like that, but when you have so many of these accidents happening all at one time in a certain area, it's highly concerning. There's no way it can't be, or people are just ignoring it, which is wrong too.
Well, that's it. I mean, you don't want to become callous to these things, especially when they are. I mean, this train derailing, the headline is that they're sending hazmat crews out. So this is another train dumping hazardous material, chemicals, we're going to assume, into the environment there. And we shouldn't just dismiss it as, oh, there's 1,000 a year. Thanks, Pete Buttigieg, you fucking asshole. We get that. What's wrong here is that you are absolutely destroying communities that these accidents, quote unquote, are happening in. And it just seems it just seems way too much. Way too much.
Fires happen too.
Sure.
There's industrial accidents. Why do we have another massive fire breaking out in Cincinnati, Ohio? Giant warehouse. There's too much happening in one area. It's like who hates Ohio enough to create this much havoc? I couldn't imagine living there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right. Why would you? So I just pulled up an interesting map here, McShane. I'm going to send you this. I'm going to send you this link.
Yeah, I do.
I don't even know how I found this. Oh, it's a site called Map Porn, which apparently some people get off on maps, and I don't blame them, because there's some interesting maps out there. But if you look at this map, which I'm sending you now, it kind of, there's a lot of shit that runs through Ohio, a lot. Now, not as much. I mean, it's funny to look at this and how few rail lines we have out west here. We really have so few compared to back east.
Yeah.
But if you look, I mean, Ohio is no more densely packed as far as rail lines are concerned than, say, Minnesota or even Illinois, Indiana. Kentucky. I mean, some of their neighboring states there, Pennsylvania is completely packed. So I don't know why it's Ohio. I really don't.
Yeah, we'll throw this map. This is awesome. This is off of Reddit. We'll throw this in the show notes as well. I don't know. I mean, we did have that. Houston had one a couple weeks ago, and so did South Carolina. We talked about those, but it doesn't. It's just it. At some point, it has to cross over from the, well, it's just a coincidence, into, there's got to be something going on here, or we're that pathetic.
Yeah, right. And that's the other thing is, I mean, I think on some level we have to look at the safety of our communities, and again, this goes back to what we said. Well, I said it in the beginning of this show. Big business doesn't care. It's all about the money, and they want to keep those trains running. And so is that going to be at the sacrifice of a few thousand lives here and there, make possible cancer for East Palestine, the entire fucking city? No big deal. We'll just keep. And the shitty thing, we didn't talk about this. Well, we might have talked about it a little bit, but Norfolk Southern sent people around, and when they were handing out those $1,000 checks to the citizens of New Palestine or East Palestine, they also had them sign a waiver that they can never come after Norfolk Southern ever for anything, not for cancer, nice. Not for any health issues associated with this at all. You get $1,000, but you have to sign this. You have to sign here, and you sign away your rights. That's fucked. That right there tells you it's all about the money. It's cheaper. Remember in Fight Club how he's like, it's cheaper to just, take the hit on the lawsuit than to do a recall for the car. Yep. The same thing here. It's cheaper to just pay out $1,000 to every resident and move on than to deal with shit down the line. So it's not going to stop, guys. We're just seeing the beginning of this.
We need to find an article on it because I still haven't gotten to read any background on that deal that was made. I know that they had said that was that was going to be their offer. I think they even started, they lowballed them at first like $500.
Oh my God!
But I'd love for us to find an article on that so we can actually throw it up on the site and get into it a little bit more, because that's an exceptional amount of arrogance. And for anybody to well, I mean, you've got these poor people now who probably a lot of them are going to be out of jobs. They're going to have to move. The town's probably going to shutter. $1,000 isn't going to be jack shit. But suing them, you might not get more than, well, you'll get more than $1,000. I mean, it'll be a class action lawsuit, and it'll probably get tied up in courts for several years.
Oh, sure.
But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think when something like that happens, and it's easier for me to say than it actually is to go through it. But I would think the gloves are off, and no, I'm not going to sign jack shit. I don't want your money, but I am going to go ahead and grab a lawyer, and we're going to do-si-do.
All right. Well, here's a article I just found from Cleveland.com, which is a cool newspaper organization there in Cleveland. To receive a check, the resident has to sign a form, O'Shea said. O'Shea is this lawyer who's like, I don't know, this doesn't sound good. The resident had to sign a form, O'Shea said, and he believes that Norfolk Southern could use that form in the future to claim that, quote, that's payment in full for everything. And they were $1,000 checks. Norfolk Southern, for their part, spokesman Connor Spielmaker said that the $1,000 checks are part of the initial phase of compensation for residents affected by the derailment, and that recipients are not signing away any rights to future claims. Okay, so let's put your money where your mouth is then, Connor Spielmaker, and see how this, pans out in the future. Because if that's true, if this was just $1,000 for, their inconvenience or whatever, All right, then that's a first step towards making things right. I'm okay with that.
Right.
But why am I signing something then? What am I signing exactly?
It's bizarre.
It's suspect. Yeah.
Can you throw that in our chat, and I'll drag that over and drop it in,
Got it.
in the show notes. So speaking of bizarre, have we gotten a proof of life on John Fetterman yet?
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm laughing. This is a man's life. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. This was another bizarre story that popped up this week, though, because you had the Pennsylvania, whatever they are, Democratic Party. They have a fancier name than that, but they put out a letter that said, we want proof of life on camera of John Fetterman, not only showing proof of life, but also that he can execute the duties of the position that was given to him as an elected official. And there's been crickets. I mean, nobody's heard from John anywhere.
It is really, really strange that, granted, the guy's in the hospital. Hopefully he's recovering. But
from depression.
Why? Yeah. I mean,
not his stroke, depression.
No, but okay. But if he's heavily drugged up and he's in therapy and he's working his shit out, then that's fine. But why is he sponsoring bills?
Yeah, because he's not there.
How does that work? Democrat Party.
I would like to know that too, and I don't know why there's not more outrage for this, because he isn't there and he is signing off on bills and sponsoring bills, and so I mean that would be the equivalent of, well, I guess, our entire United States government right now, because Joe is old and senile and can't put together a whole full sentence, but shit, he's signing on whatever they put in front of him.
I don't know. It's bizarre to me. It is. Really is.
I mean, this is where we are now. It's not even like we can be like, oh, that sounds kind of weird. Now it's like, okay, everything's fucked up. And when you hear a normal story, you're like, whoa, there's still some normalcy, because everything you hear about is like this. It's weird like this.
So what day did he go in?
Shit. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I don't know the exact date. I can look that up.
No, that's okay. We don't even need to. I know it was before the last show. And
yeah.
So his name has been, let's see here, co-sponsors. You guys can go to congress.gov and look this stuff up. He's co-sponsoring a bill on, here are the 5 sponsors for this bill. Senator Durbin, Masto Cortez, Baldwin, Tammy Duckworth. That bill is on a bill to amend the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938 to apply child labor laws to independent contractors, increase penalties for child labor law violations, and for other purposes. Why is he on there? The last action was on the 2nd of March. March 1st.
So I'm sorry. He went in to the hospital on February 8th.
Okay.
That's when he turned himself in. February 8th. Wednesday, February 8th, he turned himself into the hospital for symptoms of depression. So any of these bills sponsored after that time by John Fetterman, he was in a mental hospital, as you said, probably heavily medicated. How come he's always in a hoodie? I'm sorry. I every fucking article I'm looking at here, they show pictures of him and he's always in a hoodie.
It's all he wears.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so February 8th. So almost a month he's been in there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different bills he's co-sponsoring. Now, what I don't know right now, and we could be a little off on this, when it was actually introduced.
When did he sign off? Yeah.
So, I mean, no. Introduced to Senate 2009. We got this. What here? Hold my beer. All right. So, looking at, let's see here. This is how we do it.
Well, it's how it has to be done. I mean, we come up with questions and we need answers.
You got to answer it. You got to ask it. So the bill on the Fair Labor Act, 3-2. That's what is introduced to Senate.
So 2 days ago.
Yep.
And again, we have no proof that John Fetterman is A, alive, B, of sound mind and body, C, that he even knows that these bills are being sponsored in his name. We don't have proof of any of those three things. And why this isn't a bigger deal. Do you know AOC? Do you know the AOC? Sorry, you mentioned her name because she's co-sponsored one of these bills. Do you know that she answered a casting call? Like that's how she became a senator. She answered a casting call. She's an actress. She's not even a politician. She doesn't even know politics. She answered a casting call. They loved her energy. They loved her grit, her fire. And so they bought her in. They paid for her to win the fucking election. And she's an actual senator now. We don't even have, we always used to rail against these career politicians and these assholes that have been in Washington. We don't even have that anymore. We have paid actors and we have stroke victims. And I am not knocking against anybody who's, disabled in any way, special needs, anything like that. You know what I do for a living. Those are my people. What I'm saying is that everybody has limits to what they can and can't do. I mean, you're not going to put a dude that, doesn't have any legs in the NBA. And I know that's the world that we live in right now, that people will say, well, why not? Well, because you fucking moron, he can't play the sport. And you're going to ruin the sport by doing that. So it's the same thing here. If this guy is not mentally capable of understanding these very complicated political, social issues, he should be relieved of duty, period.
Or at minimum, not be
Sponsoring
able
bills.
to sponsor bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Every one of those bills, every one of them.
Yep.
Each one of them, he is actually on there as a sponsor. They were all introduced after he went to the hospital.
God damn. It's like they wheeled him out. They got some pictures of him so they could put him on that website and then get rid of him. Put him in the mental hospital. And then we'll just flash his picture up so that he's still, doing stuff.
He won the office. Now the governor. Now I'm not sure how it works in Pennsylvania, but the governor could probably go ahead and appoint somebody to take his place. Yep. Somebody that wouldn't have won against Dr. Oz.
Yeah. Right.
So let's go ahead and put that down as the next. That's going to be the next step. I'm going to go ahead and call it now.
Yeah, somebody who's really far left, very radical, has some crazy ideas. They can just be installed because Fetterman is not fit for duty. I don't know, man. It's a crazy world we're living in. I will tell you one thing that I know for sure. Yeah. I have just finished my beer.
Me too.
And I'm ready for beer too. So,
all right,
that much I know.
Well, let's go ahead and get into beer 2. We'll go for a break and we'll come back and we got some really good stuff to fire through. We're gonna get into China next. We have to talk about Woody Harrelson because that was an epic monologue. And we have to get into Steven Seagal. He's going to win the war for Russia. We
also should talk about Black Rifle Coffee Company because I have endorsed them on this show. I really like what they stand for. I like the company as a whole, and I'm not changing my stance on that, but whoa, what the fuck happened over there? So we got lots to get into. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll see you soon.
All right. So getting back into the swing here. Fitz, I have Pipeworks Ninja versus Unicorn.
Awesome. I like it already.
This is a double India Pale Ale.
Uh-huh.
It is 8%. So not heavy. by any means. I'm trying to embrace the spring and summer flavors, because I know the dark stuff is going to be fewer and far between.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of rolling with it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and got this double here. That's a West Coast IPA if I ever smelled one.
Mm-hmm.
No story on this. It is, like I said, it's 8%. And their site sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Just to throw that out there. In fact, I'll show you what their site looks like. So I don't know if they're in between things right now. But
yeah, I mean, I guess we can, give them the benefit of the doubt and say that their site is under construction or whatever.
well, and here it is. That's it. That's all, there's nothing else on it. pdubs.net. You're selling beer. Yes, it should taste great. That should sell the beer for you. I completely agree. But if I'm a consumer and I want to go look at what you have, I want to know what beers you have up there. If I'm somebody who's buying your beer across the country, a distributor, I want to see what kind of beers you have. And Pipeworks is not a small brewery either. They're out of Chicago, and they serve the greater Chicago area. So you would think they'd be a little bit better than this. Anyway, it's about the beer. It's not about the site. Let's just remember that.
Right. And I get that too. But at the same time, as you said, if I'm a consumer and I want to know more about what your product is, especially in today's day and age, you got to have a solid website. I'm sorry. You just do.
You really do. You really do. All right. Gorgeous beer. It's got a nice orange tinge to it, but it's clear. It is super, super gorgeous. Smells really, really nice. It's definitely a West Coaster. Hoppy, piney. Thick mouthfeel. Bitter. It's definitely an IPA. And it's funky too. There's something there.
I gotta say, I kind of like my IPAs. Really most of my beers, but I like my IPAs. Like I like my women. A little thicker in the mouth.
Okay.
So that sounds like an IPA that I would enjoy.
I'm gonna have to see how it warms up. Most of the IPAs that I go for are gonna be East Coasters. A lot of hazies. I like hazies. I like juicy. This is thick, dry, bitter, and I'm hoping it gets better. So there's that. What you got?
All right. Well, we're on this journey together, man. I went also with I changed it up. I didn't go with a lighter beer, although this one kind of came out lighter than I had expected. This is from Wolves and People. They're a farmhouse brewery here in Oregon. I believe I reviewed another one of their beers a few months back. I really like their feel. They just, well, for example, here on the bottle it says bottle conditioned, contents under pressure, just like people. They just have cute little things written on the bottles, and their artwork is cute. But this one is called Two Barns, and this is a dark farmhouse ale brewed with whole figs.
Nice.
So, I kind of changed it up here. I'm thinking this is going to be a much more not rich beer than the last one, because that one was so chocolatey, but more, I guess more savory, not as sweet. So we'll see here. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. Wow. That's nice. Real, just straight up farmhouse. You get that hint of banana, a little bit of the wheat bread side of things. Very thin mouthfeel. Very just easily glides down the throat. But then at the end, you get the meatiness, the hardiness of a fig, like almost apricot. You get an apricot flavor to this. Very nice, well balanced beer.
What was it
Very
called?
good. It's called Two Barns.
Gotcha. Okay.
Two Barns. So yeah, wow. I'm actually kind of surprised. Sometimes when you get a dark farmhouse, because farmhouses are usually that, bright yellow, almost to a, like a fluorescent yellow. You can get them sometimes, but this one, it is a darker brown yellow. And sometimes, you can get away from any sort of flavor. It's just the banana is all you get, just that super, and that's not what this is at all. This is really well balanced between a lot of different flavors. So very good.
Good. And I wasn't expecting that kind of a take on it either. When I heard dark, I was thinking more of a malty farmhouse, right?
No.
And
yeah, exactly. No, that's not what this
What
is.
you took away. Interesting. All right. Well, cool.
Not at all. So.
All right. Fitz, we've got in China. Well, no. Actually, that's the wrong way to go about it. This week, the China pivot happened. We kind of felt it was coming. We kind of called it that we're starting to see a lot more China business. Yep. But this week it came on full on.
My God.
Lab leaks of Wuhan. Everybody's got this bullshit.
Oh, they got a fucking hard on for this story.
Okay, first of all, we've already talked about how the energy department is even breaking a story like this. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
It makes zero sense at all. How this is even a story now after we already discussed it being a Wuhan lab leak back when Trump was in office.
Yeah, I mean, we're going all the way back to 2020 here. And yeah. I mean, yes, there's some vindication for those of us who were saying, I mean, just the very fact that we were asking questions, people like us were asking questions like, how can you be so sure it's not a lab leak? I mean, immediately, as soon as you said it, you were a conspiracy theorist, put on your tinfoil hat and go check yourself into a mental institution and go have a seat next to John Fetterman and watch reruns of Cheers. Immediately. And it was like, okay, just the fact that there's that strong of a reaction means there might be some credibility to this story. So now fast forward 3 years. And as McShane pointed out, the Department of Energy is covering this. They did an investigation. Is there something about the Department of Energy that we don't know? Like, are they actually like crack investigators that they call in when shit gets real cloudy and you need to find the really minute clues? Who the fuck is the department? It's almost like they were like, hey, you guys haven't been called up to the plate lately. Come on, step on up and hit us a home run here for us. And so now they put them on notice.
And to that point, we have another story that's on the dock about Elon and Neuralink being shut down. And who shuts down Neuralink?
Department of Energy.
No, Department of Transportation.
Transportation, that's what it was. You're right. Department of Transportation.
It's like, you guys don't have anything else to do, so we're going to go ahead and call you guys down from the bullpen to go ahead and hey, make a statement for us, would you? Here's the FBI director, Ray, who he spoke up this week after the Energy Department did their thing last week. And like I said, we've been following this stuff, and this is just, we're watching it all unfold.
I asked you also back then about the investigation into COVID origins.
Is the FBI in charge of the investigation of the origins of the coronavirus?
We certainly have a role in looking into the origins of the coronavirus.
Now there's this Department of Energy study that says it's likely to have come from a lab leak, although the confidence is low. It cites the FBI. What is the determination by the FBI?
So, as you note, Brett, the FBI has for quite some time now assessed that the origins of the pandemic are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan. Let me step back for a second. The FBI has folks, agents, professionals, analysts virologists, microbiologists, etc., who focus specifically on the dangers of biological threats, which include things like novel viruses like COVID, and the concerns that in the wrong hands, some bad guys, a hostile nation state, a terrorist, a criminal, the threats that those could pose. So here you're talking about a potential leak from a Chinese government-controlled lab that killed millions of Americans, and that's precisely what that capability was designed for. I should add that our work related to this continues, and there are not a whole lot of details I can share that aren't classified. I will just make the observation that the Chinese government, seems to me, has been doing its best to try to thwart and obfuscate the work here, the work that we're doing, the work that our U.S. government and close foreign partners are doing, and that's unfortunate for everybody.
So this isn't news.
No,
this was we already covered this back in 2020, and everybody knew it was a Wuhan leak, but because China's a hot button topic right now, because we're trying to build animosity towards China to get backing for maybe a war. This becomes a thing now, and people forget that we've already been there, done that.
God, I feel like either one of two things is going on here. Either the American public is like a cat, chasing the red dot laser, and just wherever it goes, that's where the fucking cat goes. And we're all that stupid, or the American government thinks we're that stupid. I mean, one of those two things has to be true, because they keep doing this, wag the dog bullshit. We talked about this a while back. The COVID, the coronavirus that they say leaped from bats to humans. In bats, it's an intestinal virus. It infects their intestines. And then that somehow made a leap to infecting our respiratory system. And I had COVID. It was 100% a respiratory. It didn't infect my bowels at all. And so there have been several virologists. I mean, this is what they do for a living. They went to school for it. They have said, just if you're just talking evolutionarily speaking, the chances of that happening in even 1,000 years of constant contact would be minimal. And the fact that this happened in one, off case in a, as they want to say, the narrative wants to say, a wet market in China, of all places, Wuhan, it's just absurd. I mean, you start putting all the narrative together, and you just go, okay, you guys, please stop. Of course it was a lab leak. Just admit to it. But of course they can't. Fauci has a bunch to answer for on all that. Our own government giving money to those institutions has a lot to answer for it, and they don't want to answer. So, but here's the FBI director saying, yeah, we've known this the whole time. The whole time.
Would you start a war or plan a war or saber rattle to the point that people think there's going to be World War III just to drive enough of a wedge between you and China so that people forget about 2 years that they lost?
Maybe. I mean, I to that point, I would say that the main motivation for all of this right now, and it doesn't matter if it's war or if it's COVID, the main motivation is money. It is economics. It is absolutely about making corporations money, as we talked about with Norfolk Southern, et cetera. I mean, I guess there's a theme to the show tonight, which is, corporations are out to, lube you up and stick it in without consent. And the shitty thing is there's nothing any of us can do about it. Here we are, just the working stiff trying to just make our mortgage payments. So yeah, I do think that there's an economic now, whether it's, as you were saying, so that we forget about the 2 years we lost. I don't know. It could be. I'm definitely not saying it isn't, but for sure there is some economic, whether it's the military industrial complex, somebody's paying for this, so that we, and I say we loosely, that we all believe that this is the thing to do, to go to war with Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. Basically, that's the axis.
I don't think people care enough about the war with Russia and because of that, we're pivoting to China.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough ammo to get into a war with China. We have to bring up stupid shit like this.
Yeah.
They're going to find that people are not going to give a shit. People are actually caring. What they're caring about is inflation, losing their jobs, not being able to put food on the table. Why are we having, all of this woke dissension? Why are we having division why do we have division in between people here in the country? Crime. That's the stuff that people are going to care about.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that I don't think we care enough about the global, what globalization should mean, that we're left with a government that wants us to care about it. And they're going to find that we don't give a shit about China either. We're too busy worried about things that are here at home, the stuff that actually matters.
Yeah. How about Hershey's for Women's History Month?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which why we don't have a Man's History Month? I guess it's because we don't count. But Women's History Month, Hershey's came out with their whole she ad campaign, and on the cover of the chocolate bars, they're putting a trans woman on there. Not even an actual biological woman who may have made an actual contribution to this country or this world. Rosa Parks, somebody. No, it's a trans woman. That's how fucking woke Hershey is. That's the kind of stuff. And then, why are we not talking about that? Why is that not like a national conversation that we can all have? No, you get shut down. You get, banned, shadow banned, canceled, and you're off of there. But hey, there might have been a lab leak in China. No shit. We've known that since 2020. Good God. I don't know anymore, man. I don't know. I mean, it's to the point, and I fucking love this show because we get to talk about all this shit, but it's to the point where I almost can't wait to get to the end of the show tonight so that we can see what tomorrow brings for next week's show. I'm already loading up for next week's show, man. It's crazy the amount of news that comes in every day. It's crazy.
I want to go back to the Jeremy Boring video that you gave.
Oh yeah,
us.
It's brilliant.
This gem is after the Hershey's woke business.
Yeah. International Women's Day is upon us again, and I love an international woman. But our friends over at Hershey's, they don't even know what a woman is. They've hired a biological male to be the spokesperson for their Women's Day campaign, and they're calling that campaign, and I swear I'm not making this up, Hershey. Hershey. It's humiliating. And it's the reason that I'm launching Jeremy's chocolate. We have two kinds. She, her, and he, him. One of them's got nuts. If you need me to tell you which one it is, keep giving your money to Hershey's. But if you're tired of giving your money to woke corporations that hate you, and you're looking for a delicious chocolate bar from a company that actually wants your business, head over to IHateHershey's.com and order Jeremy's chocolate today.
Fucking brilliant.
It's a Daily Wire. Jeremy Boring, Carnival Barker, you want to call him that. Still, a lot of people think he's a horrible human being. I get it. It's fucking genius. It's excellent marketing. He calls out Hershey directly.
Yeah.
And yeah, his company is not nearly as big as the Hershey conglomerate. We get it. But there's an argument there. This is dumb. Why are we doing this?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. And all I can say is I'm glad that there's people like Jeremy doing this kind of shit. Because it needs to be called out. And you know what? Even if you hear that ad or you watch that ad and you're like, eye roll, come on, Jesus Christ, fucking let it go. Or you're dead wrong. Good. At least we can start the conversation about it then. But for all of us to just blindly follow along with what most of us know is illogical and wrong and not even talk about it. And we're just supposed to be okay with, drag shows for kids and sexualization of our 5-year-olds. We're supposed to be okay with that. Just go along. And then someone comes along and is like, hey, maybe we should talk about this. And I'm going to do it in an offensive way. Cause he's going for clicks. He's a clickbaiter. He's trying to be offensive. Good for him. We need offensive people out there. We need, goddamn, who we need is George Carlin. We need him back. And I know we said this on the show before, but we need minds like that are just going to rail against the system at every turn because it needs to be said.
Well, I think we also need
more Woody Harrelson.
we need Woody Harrelson too.
Yeah. I agree. He's for those of you who don't know, we got a Hefe. We got a Hefe burp. What's up, man?
Can I tell you what I think my most irritating thing is at blackjack?
Yes, please.
So dealing to guys that are betting like table max and not tipping is bad. Or people that tip like $1 when they're winning a bunch of money, that's bad. But my most irritating thing is, and it just happened, when a player puts up money, player put $5 up for me. So he's betting like 20 and he puts a 5 up for me. So if we win the hand, I win $10, right? Well, we push.
This is what
both get 18.
Said. Sorry, go ahead.
We both get 18. And he pulls it back.
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's I'm like, dude, we didn't lose. Leave it out there, prick.
Yeah.
That's just me getting pissed.
And no, but it's almost like a subtle, like passive aggressive way to say, hey, you didn't win for me, so I'm gonna pull this back.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. You almost want to slap him in the face with your dick.
Yeah. And the whole concept of, I every dealer plays the game. We're not controlling the cards, but we pretend to because we want to take credit when they win. And if you're gonna hit me, then I'll take the blame when we lose.
Right.
But when you tip and we push, and you pull it back. I'm like, man, just come on. I don't know.
That's the same guy that probably. Okay.
How's the show going?
Oh, it's
great. It's
fabulous.
Yeah, it's full of fire, pyrotechnics, sex. We've had some, good discussions in here. We've got a new business we're going to start, Hefe. We're going to start dealing in used sex toys. There's a market for this.
Oh God, yes.
Okay, so that's Whiskey Hell Part 2 is going to be used sex toys.
I would imagine 85-90% of the population out there is disgusted and grossed out by the thought, but there are people that want that. There are.
Oh, you bet.
Just like the guys that buy the used panties and farts in a jar.
We talked about that too. Yeah, that's exactly right.
How many people are in the world? How many people are in this world?
8 billion. Over 8 billion.
Oh.
I will take 5% of them buying our used sex toys.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait.
For even a 1% markup, we're still winning.
Not our used sex toys, right?
Maybe. I'm not excluding it.
If stock gets low.
Yeah, I'll use it. I'll stick it
Well,
up
out
my
of-
ass.
So all you have to do, Hefe, would be, you take Rosie and you take a picture of, you do a video, right? We'll call it a GIF, like 3 seconds. And there you go. Used by Hefe. And then we slap that bad boy up there and we sell it. On,
you gotta sign it first. You sign it.
Yes,
with
yes,
Sharpie.
with a
Yeah.
Sharpie. Yep,
Yep.
a gold metallic gold Sharpie, so it
You
pops.
bet. Yep.
And then Fitz's wife is going to put it up on Etsy.
You said I got to sign it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Couple things. I have never once in my life duplicated my own signature.
Even better.
Different every time. And secondly, I actually
that increases the value.
Yeah.
It's a one-off.
The making the video thing. I got to tell you, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to say who, but I was speaking to a woman, and somehow this subject came up, and I said, I was explaining it, and I said it'd be better if I just showed you, a video, and I actually showed how it worked in great detail.
And you sent this video to your female friend, your companion. Yeah.
And yeah.
See, that's okay. Unsolicited, nobody wants a dick pic, but
Right.
when it's like a demonstration video like that, and everybody, there's no losers in that scenario. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, I'm like the teacher. I'm showing you this.
Yeah, instructor.
Thank you.
Well,
we got
I
to.
think
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
you can. What we need to do is we need to get you more of those, and then have you do an unboxing and then an actual review, and then you sell it.
Yeah.
So you're the teacher, and then you're the actual
The consumer.
And you know what? If these videos are good enough, we can see if we can get you in the AVN Awards next year.
Ooh.
Right next to Kira Chianti. She's still out there. I'm still pulling for her to win best lesbian scene, and I want to see that, and I will vote for it. But yeah, you'll be right up there on stage next to her.
Have you looked her up on Twitter or anything? Because you need to do that. I
have not. I've looked her up on some other sites, but not on. Oh, she's on Instagram. It looks like.
See, there's your in.
Yeah,
make it happen.
Hey, if I have a little stand and her stand is next to mine, are you gonna come say hi to me first, or her first, or are you just gonna ignore me completely?
I think we all know the answer to that, Hefe. You've known me long enough, dude. You know I'm gonna go say hi to her first.
It won't hurt my feelings at all.
I know it wouldn't. I know you would totally get it.
I would scold you if you did otherwise. What are you doing?
Exactly. Like, get the fuck over there. Why are you saying hi to me? We just said hi 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. You'll have me standing there. Yeah, it'll be fine. Hefe. Yeah. That'll be really good for business. What do you do? I stand here.
You're security, dude. You're security.
Yeah. Yep. I hold the camera while he's jerking off with Rosie.
Oh, shit.
We go away.
What if the next time you actually put on workshops at the AVNs and you actually use the device while others were there?
Like we rent out a space, we rent a tent.
Yeah.
Or a booth.
Yep. And then we'll charge admission to the training.
Maybe it should be a tent.
we got to upsell it too. Like charge them $20, and then they get there and it's like a glory hole. It's like, oh, if you want to see him like his face, you got to pay $50 extra.
50? I'm pimping you out at $75 minimum.
That means a lot to me.
Dude, it's your face that makes the dick worth it. If you had a really ugly face, it wouldn't matter what kind of dick you had, but you got both going for you.
Tell that to Ron Jeremy.
Ooh, good point. Good point. That guy is a fucking creepy Mario looking motherfucker. But he did have a nice cock.
Remember the air conditioning guy, Joe, that lived in the complex?
Yes, he totally looked like Ron Jeremy. I don't think he had as nice of a penis, though.
Well, we never saw it, unfortunately. So
fortunately.
Speak for yourself.
I'm really glad you. We're the ones who've been drinking. How do you come in with that kind of
seriously? How do we take a turn like this?
Oh man.
Well, anyway,
we haven't had a special break like this in a long time.
I think we need to start looking at. We still need to start planning now, gentlemen, for the next AVN Awards and find out how much a booth costs. A, and then B, right. Because, and I'm not being a total asshole, but kind of. I'm sure that has to be a tax write-off if we put it in Whiskey Hell's name.
Yeah. Hold on. We can beat this. We can beat the system. So
dude, I looked it up. Like 3 days after we got back, I looked it up and it wasn't scheduled yet.
Did you really?
I was psyched, yes.
That was a good time. That was just a good time. I mean, the AVN Awards were fun, but just being with you guys was amazing. And I mean, we put out a good show. I really liked. It's one of my favorite episodes we put out. So we need to do more things like that because it's good stuff.
Yeah, it was nice to kind of unwind and have a beer or two.
and a fifth of vodka.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times.
Oh boy.
All right. Hefe, I'm gonna ask you. We're both corporate entities. We're both in the corporate world. Have you ever gotten stark naked in a meeting room with a fellow employee and said, "Hey, let's bang, let's have violent butt stuff"?
Specifically, he said, "Let's butt fuck the shit out of each other," which to me is very. I mean, if you mean that literally, that's really gross.
Yeah. No, I have not. He was the boss too, right? Like
yeah.
He's the CEO. He's the CEO of Black Rifle Coffee, one of the bigger coffee companies, not Starbucks level, not Dutch Bros or anything like that. Bros, but I mean, it's a massive, massive company, and it's also supposedly veteran owned. But this guy is a rapey, gay bashing freak. Mr. Roper is not a cool dude.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, the initial shock of the headline is one thing, but then you start reading this court document and this dude is just, I mean, we talked about like having the rapey vibe earlier. This dude takes it to another level.
And I apologize. It's Haffer. I think Haffer is actually the, because Mr. Roper is the plaintiff and Haffer is the CEO of Black Rifle Coffee.
Oh, he went after Mr. Roper? What the hell?
I know. Well, and I'm surprised there wasn't somebody else there because that would have been Three's company.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah. I think this guy is the kind of guy that watches porn and thinks it's like real life. Like the pizza guy delivering the pizza gets laid. He thinks he can just go to like an employee and be like, hey, you know, I mean, is the guy even gay? Is the employee gay? Do we know?
It's not stated, at least not from what I read.
Well, if he thinks he is or whatever, or knows he is, he thinks he can just go, hey, let's butt fuck shit out of each other. And the guy's going to be like, oh, fuck, yes. He's thinking the same thing. Oh, my God, let's do it. And that's not really real.
No, and I mean, could you imagine if that was a a male CEO and then some female coworker.
Right.
I mean, this wouldn't even be, it wouldn't even be discussion. I mean, this is a Me Too case. Boom, you're done. You're gone. You're in jail. And that woman just made $7 million. But for some reason, this is different. I don't know why. It
shouldn't be different. It shouldn't be different just because it's a guy, and just because this guy's gay doesn't mean it should be any different. The actions of Haffer are just equally terrible. Early in August 2016, Mr. Roper was forced to strip down to his underwear and participate in a marketing video where his image was digitally altered to look like he was naked. Mr. Roper was not given an opportunity to refuse to participate in this video, and he felt like he had refused to participate, that he would have lost his job. That's toxic. In the video, he is.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, if you're going down this numeration of complaints he has, you're only at number 15. He has many instances where this dude was a piece of shit to him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. By approximately early September 2016, Mr. Haffer started calling Mr. Roper Mountain Jew.
Oh, God. Jesus.
As a derogatory term because he was one of the few Latter-day Saints in the office. So he's attacking him because he's Mormon. If anybody's actually going to Black Rifle Coffee to buy coffee, you need to change where you're going.
You should probably stop, at least until the CEO gets his due. And here's another thing. Go. All right, brother.
I'll be back in 40 if you guys are still on.
Okay, cool.
Right.
I'm not victim blaming here. I'm not. Because again, if the roles reversed and this was a woman that we were talking about who had been victimized, I wouldn't be saying this. Well, maybe I would. I don't know. But either way, why would you keep showing up to work? You've been humiliated. I mean, again, we're up to 27 now, 27 complaints. You keep showing up to this place where you're being abused. And I mean, maybe at some point you're like, fuck it. I'm going to keep showing up because I'm going to just build a case against this motherfucker and I'm going to sue the shit out of him. And as long as he keeps giving me ammo, I'm going to keep loading my gun. But at some point, for me, my personal pride, I mean, I've quit jobs for way less than that. Way less.
Absolutely.
I mean, even just somebody saying, I show up 5 minutes early before my shift and someone saying, wow, you could have been here 10 minutes ago. Fuck off. I'm out. Go suck a dick. You're not paying me enough for this shit.
Yeah. I completely agree.
So I don't understand why this dude just kept showing up.
As somebody who had a boss who used to slap my ass and pinch my ass at work, older woman, not good looking. Not that matters, but I'm giving you context. I blew it off. Granted, she wasn't, doing any of the shit that this guy's done.
Yeah.
But I was paid really well, and I had, 2 really small kids, a new wife. I wanted to keep my job, so I really wasn't that annoyed by it. This stuff is heinous, though. This is dark shit.
You weren't asked to be on a video with just in your underwear against your wishes. I mean, like to the point where you felt like if you didn't do it, you'd lose your job. I mean, that's a whole different level. And, sexual harassment, I said it earlier, sexual harassment goes both ways. I mean, even what happened to you. I mean, if we're going to I understand the Me Too movement. I do. But it needs to go both ways. You can't objectify anyone. Male, female, gay, straight, trans, binary, non-binary. You can't objectify anyone. We are people. We have feelings. These are our bodies. We get rights to them first.
Yep. And
if you ever betrayed that, then fuck you. I'm out. I'm not going to be a part of this. I mean, I don't know. I would have hit this guy. I don't even care if I lost the fight. I would have hit this guy until I couldn't move my arms anymore. and then quit. I would not. I mean, it would have been full on assault if you're going to treat me like that. Not okay.
Yeah, let's throw it out to a break, and we'll come back to Woody Harrelson, and I still want to get to Steven Seagal.
Yes. Excellent.
All right, Fitz. This is the SNL monologue by Woody Harrelson last weekend.
Before you start this, one thing that I think a lot of people don't know about Woody Harrelson is that his father was put in prison for a contract killing. And Woody Harrelson, his dad was put in jail because he was apparently working for the mob when he did it. By the way, his father never argued the fact that he killed somebody, that he was an assassin. What he said was that he wasn't hired by the mob, that he was hired by the CIA, and he was doing government work. And the government threw him under the bus, and away he goes. And Woody Harrelson has stuck to that ever since. So a lot of people don't know that his dad was like a trained actual assassin who killed somebody. And so that was Woody Harrelson's upbringing, that he was always distrustful of government because they fucked his dad that way. So that's a backdrop to what you're about to hear.
I had no idea.
Really?
No, I had
oh
no idea.
Yeah, he had a great interview with Barbara Walters where he was very honest to the point where he thought he couldn't say any more because in order to do so would put himself and his dad in danger. But he basically told that story with Baba Wawa. So, but yeah, so that's the backdrop to now you put him on SNL and you say, all right, do your monologue. And this is what he comes out with.
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes. And people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over. I threw the script away. I mean, who is going to believe that crazy idea?
Thank you, Woody Harrelson.
Well done.
I want to go back and watch the whole. I've seen his. I want to go back and watch the whole video.
Oh, it's
the whole
great.
SNL, because he did. Great. I mean, the whole show was really well done.
Yeah,
and the dude's fantastic. I could sit back and I could watch Woody Harrelson movies all day.
Me too.
But that needed to be said.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that he disguised it as this script, because if you listen to the whole speech, he's like, "Hey, I had this idea of this movie that I wanted to make, I wanted to write," and then so he passes it off as this fiction. But if you can read between the lines, you understand that the pharmaceutical companies, that's a nice way to say drug cartels,
right? And
he's just calling that out. He's saying it for what it was, what it still is. That they still have some people out there double and triple masking while they're in their car alone or walking outdoors. I mean, it's an actual thing that they quote unquote did to us. I don't even know who they are. And Woody Harrelson's calling it out, and I appreciate that. And I'm not sure why, because when I put this out earlier this week, your first question was like, well, they have to get the speech approved before they can put it on TV. I mean, someone somewhere is going, yeah, this is what you can say, or this is what you can't say. And if he says something he can't say, this is pre-recorded. It's not like it's live. So if he says something they don't want him to say, then they'll just delete it. So it was obviously allowed to be put out there. And so that I don't know. I mean, maybe it was veiled enough that all the dumb people aren't going to get it, and so they allowed it. I don't know, but it's out there now, and good for him.
Well, it was definitely received. It was definitely received with some apprehensive laughing, right? So it was like can I laugh at that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he did it. I'm always going to be a Woody Harrelson fan. He's also big enough that nobody's going to cancel him. Also.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm glad he did it. I have I mean, I already had a lot of respect for Woody Harrelson. I have more respect for him now. I remember, hearing somebody and this was back when, you listened to like KZZP, like an actual radio station. And it was late at night, and I was listening to some old, late night DJ. And he was like, hey, if you haven't heard, this actor, Woody Harrelson, who plays an absolute dimwit on the series Cheers on NBC, which everybody, he was America's favorite idiot. Everyone loved his character on that show.
Oh yeah.
But he's coming out with this new movie, and it's directed by this unknown director and writer named Quentin Tarantino. You probably haven't heard of him. But this movie called Natural Born Killers, he said, if you want to believe in the Woody Harrelson from Cheers, he said, don't go see this movie. But if you want to see a true actor, like just be somebody that you would have never seen coming, go see this movie. You will be blown away. So I was instantly like, I think that weekend, right after I heard that show, that weekend I went out and saw Natural Born Killers, and it fucking blew me away. And from that moment on, I just had utmost respect for Woody Harrelson to be brave enough to be like, yeah, I'm not going to be this, dumb farm boy who's just a barback at a bar in Boston. I can also play this stone cold fucking killer, and I can get the girl and eat it. And then all of his body of work since then, he's a really interesting dude.
Very, very. You know who else is interesting?
I can't believe we're going to talk about these two men in the same sentence, but go ahead, please.
Let's see what CNN has to say.
Well, I am told that he is famous for being in movies like Under Siege. But now Steven Seagal is taking a new role in politics. The American-born actor, who has Russian citizenship, has joined the Russian party, A Just Russia for Truth, according to the country's TASS news agency. Let's get more on this with Nick Robertson. So this is all, the whole story to me is peculiar. How did this come about?
Well, he got the Russian citizenship in 2016. 2018, the Russian Foreign Ministry made him a representative for U.S.-Russia relations on humanitarian issues. So there's a sort of a track record here of aligning himself pro-Kremlin. The party is a pro-Kremlin party. It's very patriotic to Russia. He's aligned himself, and he likes to be photographed with President Putin. He went with a Russian delegation to Venezuela about a month ago and presented President Nicolas Maduro with a samurai sword. There's all the sort of the cult of the Hollywood actor, the hard man, movies behind him such as Above the Law, Beyond the Law, Hard to Kill, The Patriot, and even China Salesman. Now he's really sort of, pitching himself in with a very pro-Kremlin party that's pro-Putin. He suggested a law recently on environmental issues, saying that people should face criminal prosecutions if they damage the environment, because he said people just wouldn't respect the laws otherwise. So, clearly very tough and very sort of aligned with Putin, it would appear. How did it all come about? It's hard to fully understand. But for President Putin, having such a prominent and well-known and successful Hollywood actor who's promoting Russia, potentially that leaking across to some of the US audience, for Putin, that's just what he needs and just what he likes. So while this party, A Just Russia for Truth, is an opposition party, it's opposition really in Russia, not really the way that we understand it. It's very pro-Kremlin, pro-Russia, Hala.
So, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree to honor the American actor Steven Seagal with the State Order of Friendship. The decree cited what it called Seagal's great contribution to the development of international culture and humanitarian cooperation.
There is so much to unpack here.
There's a ton to unpack
I mean,
here.
I'm not even going to go into kind of the sidebar sort of backstage information that I know about Steven Seagal that most people don't know about him. I had a coworker whose brother was on Phoenix SWAT team, the Phoenix PD SWAT team. And when Steven Seagal was doing his reality, quote unquote, reality TV show about SWAT teams, and he was pretending, to be one of the SWAT members and going on these raids with them, he got to know my good friend's brother very well. They had dinners together. So I have some underground information about Mr. Seagal. Plus, on the flip side of that, my Sifu has met Steven Seagal on a martial arts level and said some things about him. So I'm going to put all that aside for now. That could be fun for another show. What I'm going to say right now is Steven Seagal may be, and for all the jokes that we want to tell about him and make fun of him, he might be the most interesting person on the planet because of the life that he's lived. And I'm not saying that he's not a joke, because he is in a lot of ways, but he's very interesting. I mean, what dude who can just walk over and be like, hey, I'd like citizenship here in Russia. And they'd be like, yeah, we're going to give you a humanitarian award. What?
You're Steven fucking Seagal.
He's a fucking actor. He's made Hollywood movies. I mean, yes, he's a legit martial artist, and that's not a joke. He knows his shit. But what? Humanitarian? I don't know. The whole thing is just bizarre. That whole CNN story, to me, start to finish, at the end of it, I'm going, but wait, why? I mean, I don't know. I don't get it.
He's 70.
Yeah, he is 71 almost. He was born in 1952.
Yeah, April 10th is his birthday. It's fascinating. And you can't, okay, this humanitarian award, this friendship award, that's just a slam at the US. That's what it is. And it's kind of pathetic to me anyway, because nobody gives a shit about Steven Seagal anymore. I don't know when the last time he did anything relevant.
Well,
when was the last time he did a movie that was even close to being relevant?
I mean, Exit Wounds was okay, and that was 2001. And I don't think he's done anything after that was worth, because everything after that was like a B movie at best, and they were bad B movies.
Oh, geez, he's in the Expendables 4.
Okay, but that doesn't count. The Expendables, hot take. I've hated every one of those movies. Every one of them, I thought they were ridiculous and stupid.
Well, the first one was definitely ridiculous and stupid, but it was like, hey, this is fucking, I got all of my action heroes here. I'm going to go with it because all of my action heroes are there.
I guess. I mean, at least they were honest and upfront about it. Like, hey, the whole movie is basically going to be an injection of testosterone right into your eyeballs.
Yes. Yeah. Look at
right.
the cast for Expendables 4. We're going well off topic, but look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Stallone, Statham, Lundgren, Megan Fox, Tony Jaa,
Uwe,
which, I mean, big fan of Raid Redemption, right?
Oh, yeah, and Raid and Raid Redemption both were great. Tony Jaa is awesome. He was in the On Bach movies, and he's fucking badass. He's like legit.
Andy Garcia, 50 Cent, Randy Couture, Liam Neeson.
Steven Seagal. Oh, shit.
Yes, these movies are absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But it's like total popcorn. But he's even in this now.
Yeah.
The guy he's a gigantic clown. It would be a really, really fun deep dive though, to just look at all the weird shit that he's done.
Yeah, I mean, again, not tonight because we're running late here. We have some more stories we want to get to, a couple more anyway. But please remind me to talk to you about sort of the martial arts connection that Steven Seagal has to my Sifu and why they even met. Because it's a cool story. It's an interesting story. But at the end of the day, Steven Seagal ended up bowing to my Sifu. Basically saying like, all right, you're legit. I get it. You know some shit I don't know. So it's a cool story, and it's not just my Sifu saying it. A couple of people that I really trust were there and saw it, and it was a thing. So anyway, a personal connection to Steven Seagal, and I hover between, yes, he's a joke. In so many ways, he's a joke, but I also understand that he has dedicated himself to a life of martial discipline in a way. And that has to hold some weight to it. He needs to be respected for that.
I totally agree. Agree.
Jesus, what are you doing clowning around in international politics, bro?
Well, it's the same thing as Dennis Rodman, right?
Well, that's a good point. You're right. I guess these people get to dip their toes in whatever waters they want because they're famous.
And whatever kind of fees that they get to charge for coming over and doing.
Sure.
Well, which I'm not going to knock. I'm not going to knock because you're Steven fucking Seagal.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like when Whiskey Hell is big enough, and we are, we've got 7-8 million listeners a week, and Putin calls, I'm gonna pick up the phone, man. I mean, if we can broker a peace deal here, I'm going to do it because I don't want nukes launched.
I really want Whiskey Hell to bring peace to the world.
Me too.
Hey, why is Jake Gyllenhaal fighting?
Okay, I sent this earlier. I don't know what his beef is with this guy. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna do some research here, but Jake Gyllenhaal, for those of you who don't know, he's legitimately going to go into the UFC and MMA fight an actual professional fighter. And this fighter, so Gyllenhaal has been training for 6 weeks. That's all the training he had before weigh-in, which was, I think, yesterday. And now it's time to fight. And by the way, he looks great. I mean,
he looks like an MMA fighter.
He's fucking ripped. He looks amazing. But then you see an actual fighter step up and you're like, oh shit, that's a different level. Yeah, he's gonna get fucking murdered. So let me find out why this fight even started. But it's a legit UFC fight. It's coming up on the next card. UFC, I don't know, 712, whatever it is. He's gonna get fucking killed. And I'm sorry for that because I actually like Jake. I like his sister more, but I like him.
So I wonder if this wasn't tonight, though, was it?
I don't think so. I think it's next week, but I could be wrong.
Whoa, we got a little chin music there. So we're watching this will be in show notes.
No, he went after him.
And he's just sitting there giggling. I just tapped him. All right.
Yeah, he's trying. I don't know if he's trying to like increase his masculinity so he can get a new role in Hollywood or something. But
that might be it. That totally could be it. All right, so that's gonna be in show notes. You guys can go ahead and take a look at that. We'll get back to that next week if it's worth getting into. But that was weird when you dropped that little nugget. Hey, before we go,
hold on. I got an article real quick here.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, so it did happen. It happened tonight. Jake Gyllenhaal made a surprise appearance at Saturday at UFC 285 in Las Vegas. Okay, Jesus Christ. They're remaking Roadhouse. The Hollywood actor was shooting scenes for his upcoming movie Roadhouse. So it wasn't a real fight.
God.
Dude, that's the same dude that was in Brokeback Mountain. I mean, I'm not making a judgment, but here it is. Okay. Well, anyway, there you go. It's not a real fight. I thought for sure because I had seen a tweet. Somebody had tweeted. The reason I even found this was because someone had tweeted, Jake Gyllenhaal's pissed at whatever this other fighter was, and there's an actual fight. So I clicked on it, and then you go to the weigh-in. You know, he's flexing, he's doing the whole thing. Like you said, it got chippy. He started some shit at the weigh-in, but it's for a movie.
So it's just a stunt. All right.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna have to talk about that then at some point because, dude, if he's playing the lead. That was Patrick Swayze's role.
Dude, those are big shoes to fill, bro.
Because that was a fun movie. I'm not saying it was a good movie, but that was a fun movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Hey, you found another movie that we're gonna have to take a look at on Netflix.
Yes, it's next week, dude. Next week, that's our goal.
Next week,
we watch this. Yeah, we watch the movie sometime this week. And then we review it next week because holy shit, yes.
So what is the actual name of it? I've watched the video like several times and I still don't know what the fuck the name of it is.
Okay. You'll be able to
RRR? Is that it?
but each one of the R's stands for something.
Hold
on, I got it. So Rise, Roar, Revolt. Rise, Roar, Revolt, and it's a Bollywood production of the highest caliber. I cannot overstate. I literally you all have to go out and watch the preview for this movie. And hell, if you want to have some fun, go out and watch the movie on Netflix, and then you can be there with us when we review it next week and either agree or disagree with everything we're saying because holy shit. This is a masterpiece of Bollywood movie making.
Oh, it looks hilarious. I've let my brother watch it. I've let my youngest watch the trailer for it, and I almost got him to watch it last night. So we'll make sure that it's going to be done next week.
Yep, agreed. My wife and I. In fact, we may watch it tonight. I don't know. Depending on the mood she's in. I'm in the mood to fucking watch this tonight when we're done with the show.
All right. That sounds good. Excuse me. Hey, Lori Lightfoot's out of Chicago.
Oh my God! Thank God.
I think that's all we have to say about it.
Is
there anything else we have to get into?
The only part you have to get into is that she blames it on number one, boom, drop the racism card, and number two, boom, drop the sexism card. It's because I'm black and I'm a woman, and she said her quote was, "It's because I'm a black woman in America. Go figure." That was her quote. Fuck you, you fucking Beetlejuice looking motherfucker. You're a terrible mayor. Crime is up. Theft is up. I mean, crime in general is up. Murder is up. Crime is up. Auto theft has increased like 333%. Like it is up by a lot, lady. You suck as a mayor. But you know what? That's the culture today. I'm not going to take personal responsibility and say, I could have done more for the city of Chicago. I should have cracked down on crime more. I guess I could have done A, B, C, D. No, it's because I'm black and I'm a woman. That's why I didn't get reelected. Yeah. Okay.
It has nothing to do with you being a shitty person.
Jesus Christ, you fucking idiot. All of these people who want to they want to rest on some sort of crutch, whether that is, I have ADD or I'm autistic or I'm black or I'm a woman or I'm trans, or you go ahead, rest on that crutch. But when someone comes along and kicks that crutch out from under you because they're an asshole and because they can, you have to be able to have something else to fall back on to say, I have some grit. Fuck you. I have these skills. I have these inalienable rights that I'm going to bring to bear to make sure that I'm recognized. but they don't. They just fall back on, well, you kicked my crutch out. Wah, wah. That's not fair. Life's not fair. I'm sorry, it's not.
There's so much we didn't get to tonight. Let's take a break and let's come back and start wrapping stuff up.
All right, sounds good.
All right. All right, Fitz. Like I said, there's so much we didn't get to tonight. We didn't get to the revelation that sugar is actually, in cereal and it's bad for you. Suddenly Moldova is like a big player in the Russian-Ukrainian war.
Yeah, Moldova, I mean, we're not going to go into the whole story, but watch Moldova. As Moldova goes, so will go the war in Ukraine and between Ukraine and Russia. It's all of a sudden become a really big player, and there's been some developments this week that they're worth watching. So just keep Moldova on your map.
Digital pound came into play. We had creating AI with brain cells. We're going to come back to that one. I know we're going to.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, South Africa. Let's not forget South Africa. Let's quickly mention what's going on there.
South Africa, you have infrastructure falling down, revolution that's like on the brink. That's going to be an ongoing. We'll just have to add that into the rotation. That's going to be a thing for the
I think weeks. Actually, I'm going to predict by next week. I mean, we won't be able to not talk about South Africa. I think by that point, I mean, things will have decayed enough as a society that the riots will start. It'll be bad in South Africa by this time next week is all I'm going to say. And you heard it here first, I guess. I found several articles, though. If you want to go out there and look, there are several articles and some real, actual, credible journalists out there, not Whiskey L, but people that have been in the business for a long time who are, they're on the ground and they're going, hey, this is about to explode. It's getting really bad.
I am going to take exception to you. We are credible because we are pointing our listeners towards credible resources.
True.
So
You're
as
right.
proxy, we are proxy credible.
We are proxy credible.
Journalists.
I like that. No,
like
we're going to stick with that. We are proxy credible.
Proxy credible. Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed?
God damn, dude. This week is tough. I will say I really enjoyed this farmhouse. I've not had a dark farmhouse that's this sort of just kind of in your face is like, I'm a farmhouse, but I'm also going to add in some other flavor notes that you didn't expect. I haven't had one like this in a long time. And it was very welcome in my, well, let's just say my beer bed. But that having been said, I'm going to have to kick this lovely lady out of my bed. And I'm definitely going to go with the chemisthesis. Just a superior beer. The chocolate, the chilies on the end. And I'm not just, sometimes I just choose just strictly out of ABV. Like, okay, that was, way higher ABV. It did the job. So I'm going with that. That's not why I'm picking this beer. I'm picking it because the flavors were so just, they were present, they were full, and they weren't overpowering. They didn't take it over the top, and I love that. The farmhouse was solid, but I'm definitely going with the Imperial chili amazing stout. So what about you? Who are you going to bed with?
I was actually pleasantly surprised by the Ninja versus Unicorn. It warmed up nice. It very drinkable beer, but I also haven't finished it yet. So that also kind of leaves me with, it's an IPA.
Yeah, that says a lot. Yeah.
That really wasn't, it was fine for an IPA. Tripping Animals, who loves orange soda. That was a unique beer. That was a tasty beer. It was a quenching beer. That was a beer that if my kids got into it, whoa, that tastes like soda. It was really, really close. So
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was creative. Loved it. I would get that one again. I truly would. I was impressed.
Nice. I think, one thing that needs to be said about tonight's beers, you have an amazing amount of diversity in our choices
Yes.
tonight. I mean, there's a lot of shows where, we've got, your 2 beers and my 2 beers combined to one giant imperial stout. We've had shows like that. This was not, I wanted to diversify tonight, and you did also. And we came up with 4 very different, and yet all, I mean, for their uniqueness, they're all worth drinking. And yet we still had our favorites. So tonight I really appreciate the show for that, because just different stuff. And again, you don't judge a book by its cover. You don't judge a beer by its label, but some really great artwork on our beers tonight. So, kudos to the artists out there that are making this shit happen. Really cool artwork. So that needs to be said too.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you to everybody who chimed in on our poll this week. We appreciate you so much. Seriously, we're going to make sure you guys get shout outs every week, because not only does that help us as far as the interaction, give us more to talk to, obviously, we love your perspectives. And quite honestly, especially after this week, you guys are so fucking funny. It lightens our day, and totally. It just makes things fun. So, so keep that shit up. At whiskey_hell on Twitter, whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. You guys can also go to whiskeyhellpod.com and check out our site and tell us what you think. Give us your thoughts. This whole show is here to give you something to think about, not to change your mind, but just open your eyes to there's a lot of shit going on, and we all need to be aware of it. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz, and thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday this week. I cherish every one of the texts I got, the Facebook post, the Twitter post. I felt the love. I truly felt it. And it really it lifted me. So thanks everybody for the wishes, and can't wait to see you guys next week. Got a lot more happening, and hope you all have a great week.
Happy birthday, Fitz.
Thanks, man.
We'll talk to you guys soon.